Mississippi's trusted weather.
Hi, I'm Jim Clark, President and CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of America. I'm excited to invite you to a very special event, the Boys and Girls Club of North Mississippi's annual Dance Like the Stars Gala. It's a great time and a great event, and I can speak from experience. Several years ago, I was one of the participants, so I know you're going to enjoy this. It's happening on Saturday, July 19th at 6:30 p.m. at the Cadence Bank Arena. Visit www.bgcnms.org to get your tickets, and we'll see you at Dance Like the Stars.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor. We have a lot to talk about, but first let's just talk about the heat. A hot afternoon across North Mississippi with excessive heat, or should I say extreme heat warnings being issued this afternoon. We were talking about the possibility of that. Well, National Weather Service in Memphis felt it necessary, and we do agree here at the Room to Room Weather Center that those did need to be issued, just adding another layer of precaution to stay on the safe side. What are we going to be discussing? Well, the update to the heat advisories and those warnings that were in place, will they stick around for the foreseeable future? We'll find out here momentarily. Tropical system making landfall. It has made landfall, actually, and is now moving inland a bit more, and it is going to be dry and hot beyond the forecast, but cooler with rain into this weekend. So kind of those two forecasts is what we're balancing here over the next 24 to 48 hours, and we're going to talk through that here in the next couple of minutes. So live look there in Crenshaw, getting a look at some of those showers and storms developing. You can see this one just on the south side of town towards Marks and Batesville. 91 degrees right now and feels like 106. That's why those heat warnings are in place, because this is actually a few degrees lower than what it was even a couple of hours ago. So hot and muggy, once again, the telltale of today, but fortunately, we're getting good news going forward. 8 to 10, these are some storms off there in the distance, south of Noxubee County towards Kemper and Lauderdale County. We're not getting anything rainfall-wise. We can't really see it on this, but what we're getting is those extreme vertical lifts that are happening with a lot of these updrafts, just lifting these clouds a bit more. You're seeing these rigid edges showing that these are still mature storms that are building into Noxubee County, so we'll track those here in just a moment. But 91 feels like 106, same story, different location. That's really the case a lot of North Mississippi seeing right now. Current heat alerts, we're seeing those heat advisories in place for Oktibbeha County, Clay County. Those are in place until 7 p.m. this evening. I want to make sure, yes, so the further north you go, north of Highway 6, those are in place until 9 o'clock. Reason why? National Weather Service there in Memphis, extending it just a bit further. National Weather Service in Jackson, expiring a lot of those by 7 p.m. But nonetheless, still going to be hot, still going to be muggy, even for the next few hours. This was the most recent addition, and this is an extreme heat warning. This is a rare case, but what this means is that we're seeing 110 degrees for any period of time in regards to real field values. Walked you through that yesterday evening, seeing evidence of that right now. This is basically for the entire Mississippi Delta, excluding some portions around Memphis. So Tunica, Panola, Quitman, Coahoma, and even down there towards Humphreys, Holmes, and Washington, just going to be even more hot and even muggier than we're seeing here on the northeast side of town. So looking at our Mississippi Live Weather Radar, watching those showers, this is basically a boundary that's forming across the Mississippi River as we speak. If we loop this over the past, let's say, 3 hours, gets us an idea. You can see how these storms just basically develop along this line and remain over the top of it, but are very cyclic in nature, so it's going to strengthen and then weaken just as fast as it strengthened. A typical summer-like pattern. So let's go ahead and look at the latest ones that we can really track, but there's not really a track to put on this because it's moving so slow, if at all. So this one over there towards Highway 61, we're going to do it about 6 miles an hour. We're seeing Rich by 5:08 and then on into Moon by about 5:31. So not going to be extensive chances, but just enough for a few rumbles of thunder and even a few heavier portions of showers. Down there around Hollandale, not getting any locations that are popping up around there, but basically if you are in Greenville, Hollandale, Eudora, anywhere along the Mississippi River, that's what we're watching for our next chances of rainfall, still just along this main boundary right there. I'm going to move things south and east because that's really what we're paying attention to heading into the next couple of hours. This line of storms that's developing along basically Highway 25, between Highway 25 and I-20, those are building north, and we can see it over the past few scans as those have trended. There we go. As those have trended just a bit more north over the past few hours. So, well, at some point this will play. Fingers crossed. There we go. So watch how this line just basically builds. And this is a band, one of those bands of showers and storms that we're getting off of that tropical system. We talked about the threat for rainfall today, and we are going to get that here in the coming minutes there towards Noxubee County as that builds over Highway 45. But the most significant part of this storm is further south. So yes, there's going to be rain. Yes, there's going to be rumbles of thunder, but not expecting anything too impactful, just enough to bring some heavy rainfall at times. So that's really what we are tracking across the region. And really watching this main line, as I mentioned again, towards Walnut Grove, Philadelphia, and DeKalb, extending into Sugar Lock, Louisville, and Kosciuszko here in the next hour to 2 hours. So be ready. Any evening plans that we may have, go ahead and make some plans to move those indoors as those bands lift a little bit more north. But here's really what we're looking at. It's going to be this tropical system that has pushed into Louisiana. We talked about it making landfall. Well, it did earlier today, getting a few flood advisories down there towards let's see, where would that be? New Iberia, just south of Baton Rouge. That's a flash flood warning in effect until 5:15 this evening. As that continues to circulate just a bit more, and we'll put this on a loop right here because you can really get a visual of those bands feeding into the center of that low, so wrapping around that moisture, and we're seeing it basically here in Meridian, Hattiesburg, push in that Gulf moisture just a bit more. And so where it reaches into our area is going to be just basically south of Highway 82 are going to be the most susceptible to that area, but really walking into our area further as we head further into our Friday. So continue to watch those threats, but really heightened rain chances heading further into our Friday and Saturday. Looking at a few of those rainfall totals, this is definitely something to look at because over 10 inches over the past 24 hours there, just south of Baton Rouge, like we were talking about, that's the heart of the storm. So that's going to be the most impactful rainfall. But some of these showers that get on the outer bands can be heavy at times. About 2 inches over the past 24 hours around Meridian, a few of those over towards Pickens County, 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch. Same thing just around the Jackson area. So it's going to be heavy at times, but not seeing anywhere near what it could be like it is down there in Louisiana. Fortunately, we don't want any of that flooding rainfall up here. But over the first 12, we'll basically see mostly dry conditions with a few of those showers moving into Noxubee and Winston County over the next few hours. But beyond that, dry overnight and even dry into tomorrow morning before more showers build heading into Friday. And the reason why, it's still just that low pressure center driving our forecast going forward. And we're paying a lot of attention to that as it pushes just a bit more north. I mean, let's go ahead and walk through that generalized path. We're talking about it moving up the Mississippi River, and whenever we're on the right side of that low, we'll definitely get a lot of bands of rainfall, bands of moisture moving right through our region. A few of those heavy wind, or strong wind gusts, should I say, but lots of heavy rainfall. That's really going to be the main threat. So Futurecast showing exactly that. You can watch how that trends just a bit more north over time. So overnight tonight, with the daytime heating lacking, we're not going to see anything too major in regards to rainfall threats. That really sticks down there south in Louisiana. So by early morning hours as we make our commute, not seeing a lot of that moisture just yet. So the day does start out dry, but with the interaction of that low and there we go. Let me retract this up here. That low and that frontal boundary just towards our north, that's what's building the moisture from the north, and the low building the moisture from the south. So you have these two areas that are pushing in that moisture right here to North Mississippi, and that's why we're getting so many chances of rainfall heading into our Friday afternoon. So for the next 24, that's that primary area we are watching. Chances have gone down just a bit from 50 to about 30 to 40% because it's not going to see as much heavy rainfall, as much widespread chances. So that's a good thing. At least we might still be able to get some of those outdoor chores done. But at least there's enough rain in the atmosphere and enough moisture to cool these temperatures off. We're only talking low 90s tomorrow afternoon. We'll walk through that temperature forecast, walk through those rain chances coming up right here in the next 60. So just basically answering all the questions we have heading into our weekend forecast. So make sure to keep it here at Mississippi Live Weather here in the next minute. We'll see you then.
We're not just roofers. We're licensed contractors. Local, trusted, backed by hundreds of five-star reviews from your neighbors.
We don't cut corners, only complete systems with premium warranties. And we keep you informed every step of the way.
We're detailed, thorough, and clean, and we make it affordable, with financing available as low as 0% and same as cash plans. We're not just roofing houses, we're earning trust one neighbor at a time. Call Absolute Restoration.
For more than 100 years, First Choice Bank has provided dedicated community banking to North Mississippi. The banking products and services you need when you need them. At First Choice, you're our priority. Make First Choice your choice for banking.
As a nurse, I've seen a lot of people with sleep deprivation. It affects their job, their home life. At Room to Room, we want to take the guesswork out of buying a mattress, and that's why we brought in this technology. It shows you what you need. We want to do the assessment and find exactly what's perfect for you.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather. I hope you're having an enjoyable afternoon despite the heat, because it has been beautiful with a lot of clear skies across North Mississippi. Temperature-wise, 93 degrees right now, but feels like 100. It's just going to still have that mugginess factor to it as that southern wind builds in that moisture just a bit more in our forecast. Luckily, that moisture transitions from mugginess to rainfall, which will bring some rain-cooled air for our Friday. Now, I do want to say, with how hot it's been, have we set any records? And fortunately, but also unfortunately because it's still hot, we're not setting any records. The record high for today was actually 105 set back in 1980. Same thing for yesterday, was around that same margin. So we haven't been close to any records despite how miserable it's felt outside. But looking at those temperatures right now, we're currently sitting in the low to mid 90s across the region. It was a few degrees higher than where it's at right now, even 24 hours ago. So we're enjoying some slightly cooler conditions, but those heat advisories and warnings are still in effect. Looking at that temperature differential, a lot of that differential down south comes from that moisture that's building in from the Gulf, bringing us that rain-cooled air. So across the region, seeing much cooler conditions, and even where it's seeing a few degrees warmer, those will be cooler heading into the weekend as well. So great news across the region. Despite what we're seeing this afternoon, we have something to look forward to. 108 in Amory feels like values, 106 all the way north towards Corinth. So where's that drier forecast going to be experiencing more heat and more mugginess? Down south where that rain-cooled air is moving in place, upper double digits, talking 98, 99, and maybe up to 100, 101. So that's what we have to look forward to. Rain-cooled air really our saving grace over the next 24 to 48 hours. Those heat alerts still in effect for if you are north of Highway 6 going to be until 9, south of Highway 6 going to be until 7. Just as that sun sets, basically, we'll see those temperatures go away and these heat advisories and extreme heat warnings expiring with it. So that's great news going forward. Finally, a break on the temperatures. So if you're like me, you'll welcome any rainfall if that's what the result of it is. So for your day planner overnight, staying on the drier side as a lot of that moisture is kicked further towards the south. But temperature-wise, 91 by 6, 79 by midnight, trending in the right direction, trending a few degrees cooler. Thank you, July, for finally sparing us from your heat. But into the overnight hours, really what we're tracking is a lot of that moisture remaining south of Highway 82. You're seeing that line of storms that we were tracking earlier moving into Noxubee County closer to around 6, 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock, trying to push a little bit more north, but you can see it's just dissolving out once it reaches Columbus and West Point. A little bit of that moisture does try to stick around the Mississippi River, but overall I'm not seeing anything too impactful, just those brief isolated storms like what we were getting earlier. So even by 9, 10 o'clock, those chances still in place. So if you're heading out doing anything in the Hernando, Mariana, West Helena area, go ahead and have that rain gear ready just in case, but those showers fizzling on out really quickly. Into the overnight and into your Friday morning, that's where that moisture builds in from that frontal boundary to the north. And then we get an interaction of that low pressure center down in the Gulf that's going to merge together right over the top of North Mississippi. And that's why we get some of that cloud cover building. I know some folks were asking about the Perseid meteor shower that's happening overnight. Well, it starts today, but luckily it lasts through September 1st. So even though it's not going to be overly clear tonight, you don't have to put all your eggs in that basket. We have plenty more days ahead. So let's just wait until that heat returns and the drier conditions come with it. Low temperatures tomorrow morning, mid-70s, so this is still above average start to the day. But as that cloud cover really builds in from the north and builds in from the south, that's where we'll see those temperatures kind of just die off. They'll reach a plateau as we head towards the afternoon because they're not going to keep climbing. Where sunshine does not shine as much, we're not going to warm up as much either. So sunshine not going to be nearly as prominent, and that's why those temperatures are held a little bit more at bay for our Friday afternoon. You can see by lunchtime, those clouds transition more into showers, and a lot of those showers building in from the south again. It's that Gulf moisture kicking in and that low pressure center that's now trending more north at this point of the day, Friday at 1:30. That's where we'll start to see those chances start to climb just a bit more for a few of those isolated to scattered rain showers. Now, a few of those being on the heftier side down there towards Aliceville, happening closer to 3 o'clock. Basically, as those bands lift north, we're going to see the rainfall be on the heavier side, but also winds be on the stronger side. So it's not expecting severe thunderstorms everywhere. It's just going to be some heavier, probably some special weather statements with a few of these storms as they build more north. You see how tall these clouds are getting down in Winston County, just a result of that uplift, that rising air that's happening around that low. So that's why we're getting a lot of these showers be on the heavier side, those continuing even into the 5 and 6 o'clock hour. So high temperatures, upper 80s, low 90s across the region tomorrow, 86 in Red Bay. I mean, just look at that and envy it because we've not seen anything like that in a week now. It's been a while. And heat indices not nearly as high either, but especially where that moisture is moving in place, mid-90s expected for heat indices, whereas if it's a bit drier for the start of the day, going to be reaching well into the triple digits yet again. But that cooler air does move in place heading into our Friday night and Saturday as that low trends a little bit more north. So by 8 p.m., that moisture is still sticking around. Daytime heating goes away. Those chances do with it as over time. So by 9, 10 o'clock, still seeing some light showers, but dissolving on out. As we enter into that midnight hour, we'll really see those chances dissolve away. But those showers do kick up early on our Saturday. You can see those chances coming back into the forecast with isolated to scattered showers once again. So for your morning commute on Saturday, looking like it's going to be on the rainier side. And as we head further into the afternoon, you can see just how widespread these showers are once again. Now this is one of our other model runs, the strike model. So this is having it be a bit on the heavier side. So take that with a grain of salt. Other models not showing nearly this much output, but it does show you that the entire area of North Mississippi, with that low extending just a bit more north, that's going to allow those bands of moisture to return, and rainfall rates anywhere from 1 to 2 inches. Would not be surprised to see a few of those outputs for your Saturday afternoon overall. What I'm noticing with this too is that it's just not going to be extreme in regards to severe weather. So these are going to remain very isolated and scattered in nature, and we're seeing moderate rainfall with a few strikes at most. So nothing severe expected, but these storms will pack a punch with some heavy rainfall and gusty winds, especially for your Friday afternoon. So into the overnight hours into Sunday, some drier conditions move in place as that low lifts more north, but really what it's doing is just returning the cooler air. And I say cooler, it's still the 90s, but compared to what we saw yesterday and today, it definitely is cooler. 88 there towards Hamilton, 90 Amory and Tupelo for your Saturday afternoon, 90 still in Bruce, Water Valley, and Grenada. So it's going to be cooler. It's going to feel cooler with that rain-cooled air only reaching into the, I see low 90s on there. 91 there towards Oxford, 94 Red Bay, 96 Hamilton. Still triple digits in a few locations, but overall not going to see that widespread activity anymore. So looking at those heat alerts, still going to be excessive heat advisories and extreme heat warnings possible into our afternoon, but those do go away as we head into the 7 to 9 o'clock hour. High temperatures over the next several days. Enjoy the cooler air because it does not stick around forever. We're starting that uphill climb early parts of next week, mid-90s by Monday, upper 90s Wednesday and Thursday, and heat indices follow that same trend. We're talking about feeling like 105 to 110 for the start of your work week and lingering into the midweek as well. So enjoy that cooler air. It's not every day we get that here in July, so we'll soak up every second that we can get. And speaking of temperature outlooks, it doesn't end in the 7 days. This is a look at the next week's forecast that the Climate Prediction Center did put out, and you're seeing on our bar up there, way above average for what we typically be at this time of year, not just here in the southeast, but also all across the United States. Everyone trending warmer, just a result of that atmosphere setting up in a warming trend. So enjoy our weekend because it seems like over the next 2 weeks, we're going to get very little relief in regards to our temperature forecast. Yes, it does come with some rain, but no one's complaining about that if it means low 90s, upper 80s. But there's a look at that heat heading into next week and much drier forecast. Those drier conditions letting those temperatures build. So mid to upper 90s by Wednesday and Thursday with very little rain chances expected. So that's really the extent of what you guys need to know heading into the forecast. But we are tracking more updates on that heat coming up at 6. So make sure to keep it here in the next 40 minutes or so as we walk through that forecast and just that latest update on the tropics and how it'll impact us here in North Mississippi. If you need to know information before then, there's a great way to do so. We have the Mississippi Live Weather app on your screen right there. Scan it with your phone. Pull it out real quick. I'll wait a couple seconds for you to scan that, and it'll take you directly to your app store, iOS or Android, to download the app today. 24/7 access to the stream. We also have forecasts at your fingertips, a day planner, 7-day, everything you need to know, letting you know that the heat is returning, but it is going to be a rainy weekend ahead. Again, walking you through that forecast in more detail, who's going to be impacted when, that's going to all be answered coming up tonight at 6. We'll see you then.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.